Not long ago, the Black experience was excluded from the comic book landscape. In the event Black characters were to be included, they were stereotyped and depicted as offensive mental caricatures, such as Little 8-Ball and Ebony White from The Spirit. The late 1940s brought the rise of Black-owned ventures like All Negro Comics, which featured linemen. This era also saw visionary Black creators like Matt Baker and Jackie Orme, who created the groundbreaking Torchy Brown and Patty Joe and Ginger comic strips to counter negative stereotypes.
Fortunately, with the social and political climate of America at the time, Black people didn't and still don't have control of their narrative. Welcome to our anthology series, Comics of the 80s and 90s. And today, for our second episode in this series, we'll be covering Milestone Comics. Welcome to the Illustrated Underground. Milestone Comics is an important part of comic book history as a whole. But to go back and understand Milestone and where it is today, we need to go back to the roots. Most view Milestone Comics simply as the company that created Static Shock or the company that is owned by DC. This couldn't be farther from the truth. Their story is one of the most fascinating in the comic book world, and its creation shook the industry to its core. In 1993, Dwayne McDuffie, Dennis Cohen, Michael Davis, and Derek T. Dingle came together to bring a vision to life. They didn't just want to create Black heroes in a white world. They wanted to build a universe where diversity wasn't necessarily the gimmick, it was the norm. Enter Milestone Comics. Despite popular belief, Milestone wasn't owned by DC. It was an independent company that had DC handle publishing, printing, and distribution. This meant that Milestone and its creators retained full ownership of all the characters they made, which at the time was incredibly unusual and important to its creation. Image had only been around for a year and a half at this point, so the industry was very different. They aimed to create characters and cities that reflected real people. The main city of Milestone Comics is Dakota City, and it didn't feel like Gotham or Metropolis. It was a real, breathing, living city. Even beyond Marvel's rendition of New York City, it felt true and genuine, like it could really be a place in the United States. Milestone wasn't afraid to talk about politics and social issues, and that's what set them apart from other comic companies. They handled police brutality, gang violence, racism, LGBTQ characters, immigration, media bias, and even homelessness. These were all issues that your Batman and Supermans of the time generally shied away from, obviously with a few exceptions. This set Milestone apart. These ideas were seamlessly woven into beautifully drawn superhero action and the tropes that everyone had grown to love. Readers came for the action and got surprised with sociology. Sales were very strong, with Static Shock #1 selling about 250,000 copies, which is an incredible debut for a new character in an independent line. The only people that loved the book more than retailers were the critics. Milestone's writers were praised. But then, the comic crash happened. The mid-1990s was a disaster for the industry, with the collapse of the speculator boom. This refers to a period around Death of Superman and Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, where retailers, publishers, and consumers became obsessed with comics that would become valuable or hold value. Like most things built on this speculation, like Beanie Babies and other collectibles, this led to a huge collapse due to oversupply and loss of longtime readers. Because the comic companies were focusing on collectors rather than fans and readers, they lost many consumers.
Comic shops closed in droves. Marvel was an inch away from bankruptcy, and despite Milestone's unique concept, amazing art, writing, and critical praise, it couldn't escape this collapse. By 1997, most of the line was canceled. In the year 2000, ironically after Milestone ended, one of its characters blew up in popularity. Millions of kids who didn't know what Milestone was were suddenly turned on to Static's name every Saturday. It was easy for the show to find success, as it was a part of the widely successful DC animated universe. This show has more social political weight than the other shows in that universe, with it tackling school shootings, racism, bullying, homelessness, and domestic abuse. And that's way a lot for a kid's cartoon, but it did it well and it delivered. Like the comic book industry, network execs feared that these stories would be too serious for children's television, but the series earned a lot of praise for treating young viewers with respect. This show crossed over with Batman, Superman, the Justice League. Despite static success, Milestone disappeared for years. Legal complications over ownership and publishing stalled new projects. Fast forward to the year 2020. Milestone made a triumphant return to comics, introducing a new generation of readers to Dakota City. Milestone proved that readers didn't reject politics or diversity. They simply rejected poor writing. It proved that a comic based on diversity could find a lot of success. Over 30 years from its inception, Milestone's legacy is not about any single hero. It's the 4 original creators standing up to an oppressive industry and showing readers what they're missing out on. To Milestone, the Black experience is subjective. The characters within the Milestone universe embody varying degrees of the Black experience. Let's dive in. Unlike the origin of Superman, Icon, originally named Arnis, was an alien life form who crash-landed in the Deep South in the 19th century. His DNA was altered by a ship to match the first person he scanned, an enslaved Black woman. From there, he was raised as a slave before escaping to live for centuries. Fast forward to present day, and Arnis, now Augustus Freeman, is a wealthy lawyer whose ideals are out of touch and approaches to social issues lean more conservative. Like Superman, Icon possesses immense superhuman abilities: strength, speed, invulnerability, healing, energy manipulation, and has even gone up against the Man of Steel in several comics. But despite his power and status of this modern-day world, Icon sees that himself and Rocket, instead of being hailed as heroes, are hailed as targets. Icon's sidekick, Rocket, serves as a more progressive, ideological counter to Icon's political views, while also representing the youth of today. Youth who don't benefit from corporate or conservative solutions. Milestone takes the core premise of Superman and the immigrant story, but does a 180 by giving Icon different socio-political roots, which for the 90s was pretty radical and intriguing to see a Black character have a conservative bootstrap ideology and believing in the American dream despite its systemic flaws. Through this series, we explore Icon and Rocket's debates on community empowerment, whether to work within or outside the law, and generational differences in surviving American racism.
Next, let's get into Static, the heart and soul of the Milestone universe, and the only hero to still be pretty active today. Like Spider-Man, it isn't his powers that make him so special, it's his heart and spirit. Created to reflect lived experience of Black teenagers, Virgil Hawkins balances school, social life, and family responsibilities with the task of protecting the city. His comic covers so many themes with so much strength and power. He's by far one of the most influential Black superheroes in comic book history, and his original series does not disappoint. Virgil Hawkins was an intelligent high schooler living in Dakota City. Despite how bright he was a normal teenager, dealing with normal teenage problems. His life completely changed, though, after he tried to stand up to a local gang. He inadvertently finds himself in the middle of a massive gang confrontation. In an attempt to stop the conflict, police deploy an experimental form of tear gas known as quantum juice. Instead of breaking up the crowd, it explodes, mutating everyone. In Milestone's universe, this is known as the Big Bang. This event led to hundreds of people acquiring superpowers all at once, with Virgil being one of them. He gains the power to control electricity. Naturally, he decides to become a hero, calling himself Static. Now, let's dive into hardware. He's the man who built his own justice. Curtis McCaff is a genius engineer who works for Alva Technologies under a billionaire named Edwin Alva. Curtis believes his work is bettering the world. Eventually, he discovers the truth, that Alva is stealing his ideas and providing them to criminals and corrupt politicians. Upon realizing his whole life's work was built on a lie, he takes charge of his future, secretly developing his own weapon, an Iron Man-esque suit of armor that he uses to fight against the injustices he inadvertently helped build up his whole life. He begins a campaign against Alva and his empire as the hero, Hardware. He's a representation of the deeply embedded racism in America's corporate world. He also unwinds the ethics of technology and its uses. Though all four of the original creators worked on this character, Dwayne McDuffie is generally credited behind Hardware's voice and the specific themes of this comic.
Let's take a trip back to May 13th, 1985. The Philadelphia Police Department dropped an improvised military-grade bomb on a residential row house occupied by MOVE, a Black Liberation and Back to Nature group. The resulting fire was intentionally allowed to burn, killing 11 people, including 5 children, and destroying 61 nearby homes. Now let's go to 1992, the Los Angeles riots, disturbances that erupted in response to the beating of Rodney King and countless other injustices within the Black community. These events shaped the concept of the Big Bang, the metahuman creating incident caused when local police attempted to use tear gas to suppress a gang summit. But it also influenced Milestone creators Dennis Cowan and Dwayne McDuffie to create characters reflective of these crises. Enter Blood Syndicate. The Blood Syndicate was a superhero group primarily inspired by Urban Decay and 90s black crime films like Juice, Menace to Society, and Boys in the Hood. The comic addressed urban realities like the crack epidemic, gentrification, racism, and internal prejudices among the members themselves, as the group was comprised of characters from different ethnic and cultural backgrounds. The Blood Syndicate isn't your traditional superhero team. They're heroes of the inner city who dealt with the issues of the inner city, such as drugs, urban degradation, and neglect of inner city youth. It featured characters like Wise Son, an invulnerable black Muslim who acts as the moral anchor of the group. Masquerade, a groundbreaking, shape-shifting transgender Haitian American. Flashback, a Dominican American struggling with the literal and metaphorical crack addiction. Unlike the synergy of the Justice League and Avengers, the Blood Syndicates are rivals who banded together out of sheer survival. Alongside Icon of Rocket, I feel this is another socio-politically charged narrative as it contextualizes the Big Bang incident to real-life environmental racism in marginalized communities, internal strife, the division of marginalized folks, and the gaps left to fill with the absence of traditional superheroes and proper authority figures in the inner city. While Main Street Comics began introducing black characters in the 1960s and 1970s, Milestone Comics was for us, by us, and came at a time where issues like police brutality, gang violence, poverty, urban degradation, and racism were at an all-time high. With hip-hop going political through groups like Public Enemy, NWA, and Tribe Called Quest, and black directors like Spike Lee, John Singleton, taking the social-political approach to their films, comics needed that same exposure, and Milestone delivered. Milestone offered a direct mirror to what was going on in marginalized communities, while also serving as a power fantasy and escape from the mundane realities of this world.
Recently, many comic fans protested DC with a blackout no-buy protest. We felt it was important to highlight the history and contributions of Milestone Comics as these issues still permeate to today's world with comics. Their deal with DC guaranteed that the creators retain full copyright control over licensing and merchandising, a highly unusual and empowering business model for independent publishers at the time. Milestone paved the way for a lot of independent comic book companies, such as Godhood Comics, Impound, Black Sands, Concrete Comics. There are so many more that do not get enough attention. With DC and even a little bit of Marvel still acting in a similar way that they did, with Black creators still not having the power that they should over their creations, with Black characters still being shoved to the side. It's so important that you guys check out these creators and publishers. While it's important to see the change that you want and form independent media, DC's access to characters within the Milestone universe and within their own universe speaks volume to their neglect of Black representation, authenticity, and employment. The Milestone characters have been shockingly absent from the comic book world since their creation. And though all of the characters are brilliantly designed and drawn and have these great thought out stories, DC just lets them collect dust. While the blackout has ended, we think it's more important than ever to look toward these creators and highlight their importance. Stay tuned for our next episode in this epic anthology covering the comics of the 80s and 90s.